Hey guys, sorry I'm late. I was at a comedy show that I got tickets to go to free on Thursday. So my sister and I were hanging out for a little bit, and I was trying to run and get back before 9 o'clock, and then I had to get gas, and the whole thing just snowballed. But here I am, running a little late, but who cares? Welcome to HobbyPlex After Hours. Not a lot going on this week. I'm going to try to finish up my Bandai Boba Fett model so that I can start figuring out how I'm going to compete in the Hobbytown Galactic Mod Contest. So, yeah, I don't know. That's all I really got. Kind of a calm week. We just got done with the big carpet crash in, and we don't really have any big races coming up for the next 2 weeks. So I don't really have a whole lot to do. So I'm going to try to finish this, and I'll try to keep up with you guys in the chat and just get to hang out for a little bit. Glad you can tune in. I hope you guys have listened to the HobbyPlex Show podcast. If you haven't, you should be able to find it on SoundCloud. And we just dropped the latest episode today, and we're actually going to do another one coming up here soon. Monday, we're recording 2 more. We're going to record a special interview with the Omahawks, and then we're going to do our regular show too. So a lot going on media-wise. The HobbyPlex show here on YouTube, last time I checked, has what does it have? It has 998 subscribers. I'm 2 away from 1,000. I'm so excited. Look at that. You can see that. I don't know if you can see that. Where is it? It's right there. Oof, you can't really see it. Oh, you can kind of see it. There you go. Look at that. So we're so close. We're so close. So, woo, getting there. Let's see. What are my other hobbies besides RC? I like to ride my mountain bike, and I really like video games, and I fly RC airplanes a little bit when I have the time. But yeah, other than that, the model stuff is just, I only like the Star Wars Bandai stuff. I don't really get into any other models, so we'll see. It should be fun. But yeah, mountain biking is a pretty fun hobby of mine. I don't like being cold, so I don't ride in the wintertime. So I'm really keeping an eye on the weather. So as soon as it stops freezing overnight, I should be able to start riding again. My son's really into riding as well. He likes BMX and skateboards and all that good stuff too. And I like to fish. I like to fish every once in a while, although I don't do it near as much as I used to. So, can I be in one of the podcasts? No, I don't even know who you are. I'm gonna guess who you are, but I don't know who you are. I think I know, but I don't. Maybe you have to text me, tell me who you are. Yeah, 2. I would assume so. The green Mojave should be there tomorrow. I checked tracking today again, and it's supposed to be. So hopefully there's no screw ups with FedEx or anything like that. That would suck, I hate it when we order stuff and then it doesn't show up when people say. I just dropped my food on the floor because I'm stupid. God. It's fine. It is what it is. That'll be fun. Did Clayton, do you know what you're doing? Have you listened to the podcast yet? Because we talked about you today or yesterday. So I think I got Boba Fett's head done. And it's going to be the Mandalorian. I'm going to paint him. My goal is to paint him so that he looks like the Mandalorian. I think the head is all I got done when I stopped what I was doing here. There's a lot of pieces to this one. So, yeah, there you go. Yeah, you are. Is it 20 minutes where we talked about the Techno series then? Stickers. What's Clayton doing right now? What are you doing? Are you done with school yet? Should hurry up. Yeah, I'm really sorry I was late, but it happens. I was trying to hurry. Look at this. There's a lot to this one. The best burger joint in Omaha, to be honest with you, I have no idea. I like Runza burgers, Runza cheeseburgers, double cheeseburgers are the bomb. But yeah, I was gonna say Dinkers, but I've never actually eaten at Dinkers, which is weird because I used to live right down the street from it. My wife and I, our first house was at 32nd and Gold, which is right up the street from there. Yeah, Paxton, I think you have a good place right now in the independent class. I think you just keep that 21.5 in there and race that for a little while. When we go back to the dirt, then throw back a 17.5 in there because the independent buggy class will be 17.5 on the dirt. We have 2 straight weeks of carpet off-road, then the Techno series, and then the finish of carpet off-road. And then we have the Tamaya race, the 21st and the 28th of March. And then we have the Dirt Oval race the following week. So we have 2 weeks off before we officially restart our Saturday dirt. And if last year's any indication, it'll probably be Friday nights on the dirt, starting in May. And independent will be back to 17.5 because we've got the bigger racetrack. I think 21.5 is too slow. So yeah, my cat's pretty cool. She's kind of nosy, but she's pretty awesome too. But she's very nosy. She's I don't even know what she is, but she's one of those cats where we went to the pound and didn't find anything, and then we went to a pet store one day and just sort of found her, and she just kind of went home with us. We didn't intend on getting another cat, and then she just sort of was like there. So yeah, Pat. So the easiest way to get rid of the shakes at races and stuff is to just race more, and our spring champs is the end of April, and I'm really looking forward to that because I have a lot of work I'm going to try to do to the track to clean it up a little bit and to make it get it back in shape so it's a little bit more professional looking. I think the track almost looks run down right now, and that's just because we haven't painted in a while, and a lot of that wood is getting beat up, and it just doesn't look the way that I think it should. So the track layout's going to be really good, and it's going to have a rebuilt wall in the back, and hopefully a new paint job all the way around the track. And we're going to kind of rehang some banners and stuff. Basically, spring cleaning is what it's all about. I just need to get out there and really start getting rid of the junk and kind of reorganizing the tractor area and stuff like that. And then just run independent buggy at the big race. That's my advice. Run independent buggy at the HobbyPlex Spring Off-Road Champs, and should do really well. So that's the way to get rid of the shakes. You never know when the shakes pop up though, because the mod buggy race that I won about 4 weeks ago, that's the first time I've actually like led a main and won a main in a while. Woo! I was shaking at the end of that one, and I hadn't shaken in a really long time. So that's how you know you're getting slower, is when you finally do go to win or lead a race, even just a club race, and you get the shakes. Yeah, I always ask for some volunteer help when it comes to springtime, when we really start working on the track out there. We get so cooped up with winter all the time, and you don't always want to be in the bitter cold to throw stuff out, in the dumpster or whatever like that. So when it comes to the track layout, I spend so much time on the tractor that if I had too many volunteers around, it'd actually get kind of boring, and there wouldn't be anything for them to do. So when it comes to volunteers, it's more like, I definitely always could use help, kind of using the shop vac around the dirt track and the carpet track, and, just picking up all the junk and all that and helping me get rid of that. And then when I do need help on the track, it's mainly helping to rake the jumps out, helping to put pipe down, that sort of thing. So I might make a post or something like that and kind of give a call. But the thing about that I've learned, I've been doing this for so long that the thing I've come to learn about help is if I ask for help and I don't get any, then I'm all bummed out and butthurt. If I don't ask for help and I get some help, then I'm super happy. So I try to find that middle ground where when I do ask for help, it's usually stuff that I wouldn't want to do myself for free. Be on the tamper for a couple hours or anything like that. It's just, a lot of the stuff that I feel is kind of it's what I get paid to do. So everything else, is definitely a bonus. So yep. Yeah, Saturday should be pretty fun. I'm trying to decide what I want to do for the layout, because the on-road side runs on Sunday, and I feel like if I put down the same layout that we had Saturday for the crash in, that it'll be a lot of work to put it all back. So it might be a little different. I wouldn't say tamer, but it might be a little bit different than what we ran last Saturday. So that cat, she wants to be the center of attention. She's like my son. They should hang out. That's what Emerson likes to do, is be the center of attention. Kind of like what I'm doing right now. It runs in the family. Oh, she's messing with my RC10 box. What is she doing? Oh, yeah. PCs. It's got to be PC. So the spring champs are April 24th through the 26th. So our spring champs are always at the last weekend of April, unless it's Easter. Every once in a while, Easter is the last Saturday of April, so it's got to come the week before. But I've tried to keep it the exact same weekend for a while, so that all these other places kind of know to schedule around it and not put stuff on top of it. If they do, that's their own bad, because we try to keep it consistent. It's always that last weekend. Yeah, TTO ones are pretty darn easy. That should really only take you a couple hours, if that. I built a TTO one before. PC 11. Where's PC 11? Oh, it's right there. Okay. So I'm building the torso of Boba Fett right now. You guys want to see something cool? Hang on. So I picked this up a couple years ago at the Imaginarium downtown, and I can't believe they didn't want more money for it. But it's my Kenner blockade runner. It's like the oh god, what's the name of the ship in New Hope when it comes in and but check this out. Look, watch. Oh, they don't light up anymore. Anyways, can you hear that? Listen. Isn't that cool? I think it's cool. And I like turns. And oh. Yeah, isn't that neat? I think that's cool. Yeah, anyways, this is cool. All right, enough of that. There was a, in Marketplace the other day, I saw that there was a Kenner Star Destroyer, and I wanted to buy it, but at the time, I didn't have any money. I just got him a tax return, so I'm just super happy right now. Yeah, she should be there. Courtney's been that's my girl for a while, so as far as I know, she's going to be there. If she's not there, it'll be another one. And there's been a couple different models for the Tamaya series, but Courtney Day is the one that's most well known. So as far as I know, she'll be there. Last year, she did a good job doing the social media stuff. Should I solder the fan lead directly to the ESC positive and negative leads? The motor fan leads. I wouldn't. I would just plug it into your receiver. I mean, because chances are you're going to be changing that fan if you get enough wrecks, and I would want to be able to fix it quicker than having to resolder the leads. It's just what I think. I don't have any of my cars here, otherwise I'd show you. So there's my. So the cool thing about the Bandai models is they're all like posable, and so when you're building it, you got to put the joints in there. Isn't that neat? The Reedy fan you have has an extension, like the speed controller one. The joints on the Bandai, you don't need to grease them or anything. Plus they got to pop in, and so they don't come out. So I don't think they'd want to have them greased. Plus you don't want them to like be posed and then like flop and stuff. A21. That's this one here. I don't have my X-Acto knife on me. I left my tools at work. I bailed so quick to get on time for this comedy show that I was at that I forgot a bunch of stuff again. I do that all the time. I don't know why I do that. I know I'm doing this. I don't know why I keep forgetting like my tools and stuff. So that goes like that. And then what I'm going to do with Boba Fett here is I'm going to paint him in the Beskar color and make him the Mandalorian. So he's not going to be Boba Fett. He's going to be the Mandalorian. I hope. I don't know. Like I said, modeling is not really my thing, but I want to do something for the Galactic Model Contest. So I'm going to try to make the Mandalorian. 810. This one. I probably should have painted this stuff before I started putting it together, but as I said, I'm not a modeler. It's not exactly what I'm good at. PC 16. Oh, there's 16. I was going to bring this this HBI Savage to work on tonight, but then I realized I couldn't start it here. I mean, I could, but my wife would get super pissed at me. So, nope, no e-buggy for me. I'm going to be busy building the track again tomorrow for the carpet off-road. We got 3 more carpet off-roads, and I have to work all day tomorrow anyways, so I don't know. Maybe I'll probably start running it on Friday nights when carpet is over. But not until then. It's just too much work to do, to set up the carpet track and get it all ready to go, and then have to worry about my e-buggy and all that other stuff. So nope, not yet. You hear about how late the races went down in Missouri? Wig said the main was at 5 a.m. I did hear about that. I'm not saying anything because it's not my track, and I don't know. I don't know how. I mean, 200 entries is a lot. I imagine if we had 200 entries, we probably, with 3 qualifiers starting at 9 a.m., I mean, we probably would have ran pretty late. I don't think 5 a.m. late, but I think it would have been pretty late. You know, especially since we only take 6 to the main and not a full, or 8, I should say, 8 in the main and not a full 10. Kind of stretches it out a little bit more. That's a long time. I went to a race once in Chillicothe, Missouri, back when the North Missouri Raceway was a thing. and it the first the first big race that Billy at Chillicothe, North Missouri Raceway ever had, and I don't think he was ready for the turnout. It was almost about the same thing. It was like it was like 180 something entries, and at the time back then that was a lot. Like we were lucky to get like 100 for big races back then. That's what we thought was a lot, and it was like 170 something, and they were doing this race in one day, and that was the only time they ever did that race in one day, because I think my mains were like 4 a.m., 5 a.m., something like that, 4 a.m. And I took caffeine pills, which you should never do. Don't take caffeine pills. That is a stupid, stupid idea. Just drink lots of Mountain Dew. Because we were talking about shaking earlier. I took caffeine pills to try to stay awake for this main event that was happening like super late, like 3 a.m. or whatever. And I was shaking from the caffeine pills. It wasn't from like worrying about racing. It was literally from uh, being jazzed up on stuff that you shouldn't put in your body. So don't do that. But that was the last time that race was ever one day. Every single big race after that was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday deal. It's a lot more enjoyable. So, yes, Friday night racing tomorrow. Bring the e-buggy, Clayton. E-buggies have been a thing on Fridays. We've had full heats. I think we had 8 cars not that long ago. So, just totally do it. I'll be upstairs working. PC7. Yeah, it's this way for me at the end of carpet season. I'm looking forward to dirt. I need a dirt car, but I'm looking forward to dirt. The colonoscopy was great. Jared Doherty just asked how my colonoscopy was. That's very public about, and just a routine thing. I had 3 polyps they took out. They're all benign, so nothing to worry about there. I got to go back in 3 years and get another one because they found the polyps. And the stuff they put you in, I don't know if you guys can see the bruise in my hand, but the stuff they put in to knock you out burned a lot right before, and it knocked me out quick. But I remember I was sitting there; they were putting me in there, and I had to be turned a certain way, and yeah, It started to hurt, like I was trying to get my hand away, and that's one thing I didn't like was the burning of the hand. But then I woke up, and then I just remember waking up, and my wife is standing there, and I'm like, oh hey, and everything's fine. A28. A28. That's this guy. Yeah, you should have started sooner. I agree. Paxton just said he should have started carpet sooner because carpet off road is fun, and it's you got to be precise. It teaches you how to drive a little bit more precise than you probably can get away with on dirt. So, I think a lot of the guys that are racing carpet this whole season, when they get back on the dirt, they might even find that dirt's a little bit easier. Wouldn't surprise me. Yes, they had me take this stuff called Suprep, and it was awful. And the smell, it's just the smell. I don't mind what comes out because it's got to all come out, but the smell just lingers, and it's. Oof. The crazy thing is the first night I took it, because I had to take it the night and then I had to take it the morning. The first time I drank it, it was disgusting, like tasting, but I could kind of like just chug it down and just be done with it. In the morning, dude, uh, it was it was bad. Like I thought I was gonna puke because it was I couldn't do it in the morning. I did it anyways, but I did not like it. Uh, I definitely like the soup prep cold. Definitely not warm. It had to be cold, but it was still awful. And it's the smell. It's just the smell that lingers, and then that taste too. It just stayed in there. I brushed my teeth like 3 times, downed like 4 kickstarts, still was there. Awful. Yeah, it's not good. So here's my head joint, and then here's the torso. And it looks like it goes like that. I'm going to find A17. 17. Yeah, like I said, I think some of the people that have been racing carpet for this season that haven't raced dirt in a while will go back to dirt and kind of think to themselves that it is easier. A lot of it's just because of the size of our track; it's just bigger, and so you can get away with a little bit more, especially if you're so used to carpet where you got to just be. You can't like over jump a jump, and you can't come into a corner super hard on a tight turn without slowing down. Whereas dirt, you can kind of do that. You can kind of get away with it. And you can kind of get away with having a not very well set up car either on dirt. On carpet, not set up well cars don't do as good. Yeah, we'll miss you, Josh, if you're not coming. Yeah. So, um, Rebel Scum, which is a great name by the way, trying to decide whether he wants to build a carpet vehicle or crawler. My choice would be crawler. I really like my crawler. Um, I still haven't adjusted my rear bumper the way I want, but I'm going to get to it uh, when I remember to bring my tools home for this thing. Um, but I really like crawling. I like crawling because you can keep doing stuff. You can keep changing and adding stuff if you want to. You don't have to just like build it and stop. It's not like my off-road buggy where if I build it and it's done. There's nothing else to do to it other than drive it. Whereas that, if I want to change it, I can. Something cool. Mm. Well, good luck. Don't get hurt. Josh is going to the Arena Cross Series finals, and he's gonna win the old man class. So don't get hurt. Follow up TRX4 Axial SCX10. That's tough, man. Um, there's both. They're both. I mean, there's tons of upgrades and stuff for both of them. So that's a hard one. Um, I don't know. That's a tough call. Um, well, so he just asked something else. So I personally really like the Enduro, and it's got a really tight radius. It's got behind axle steering, and a lot of stuff that's out there for the TRX4 and the SCX10 also work on that. But it also has tons of upgrades coming out for it now. So, um, mine's got the Samix shock towers. It has the Reefs RC servo winch. and a really good servo. I got the Samix braces. I've got the SSD knuckles, the SSD weights. I've got Vanquish titanium bent links. Got the Reefs RC sliders. There's just tons of cool stuff for it. So, but there's tons of cool stuff for the other two as well. The portal axles are really neat, and I've seen some really good TRX4s lately. So I think they can be really good. Well, they are really good crawlers because you can, if you get, like if you get the non-sport version, the more expensive version, you can free reel or lock the other two. So I don't know. That's tough. Part of it is just go with what looks cool. If like one of them, if you don't want to build the kit and one of the RTRs is cool looking to you, get that one, and then just start adding on to it. Yeah, Reefs is pretty dialed, man. They make good stuff. Very, very nice to have a quality crawler oriented line of accessories and stuff. The Reefs winch is great. I mean, that thing can pull itself up, and it's a heavy truck. It's almost like a 11-pound truck. So Paul Yoder asks, other than doing more practice laps, are there any specific recommendations you have for new racers to get better? And other than doing practice laps, I mean, practice is where it's at, just track time. But it's really important to practice with the right tires. So if you practice with the wrong tires, you're wasting your practice. So it's always really important to practice with the tires that are going to hook up the best, and otherwise you're just going to be you're not going to learn anything. You may learn how to drive without crashing based on the fact that your tires don't work good if you don't have good tires on there. But I would always suggest running with the tires that work. So like on our track, we're lucky enough where there's really only one compound, and that's clay compound. And then there's really one or two tread patterns from J Concepts and Proline and AKA. So put the right tires on when you practice. Make sure that you're using the right sauce. So I personally like PB Blaster. You just go to the store and get it, or Liquid Wrench, and then just make sure that the practice that you are doing is the right kind of practice. So, because a lot of times new people will be like, I don't want to ruin tires. I want to go out there and just drive, and then they'll put on softs or super softs, which kind of work on our track but can make you actually crash more. Or they'll keep like ready to run tires on, which are they're going to be way too hard, and you don't go anywhere and you just don't learn anything. So I hope that's good advice. And then change one thing at a time. Another mistake that new people make is when they're trying to learn their car, they'll change 3 or 4 things at a time, and they won't learn what each change does and how to react to it. So, if you want to do something like change your shock oil, change your shock oil. Don't change your springs at the same time. Do the shock oil first, see what that feels like, and then change your spring and see what that feels like. If you put a couple washers underneath your ball studs, just make that change by itself. Don't do your ball stud washers and then camber position at the same time. Don't do that. Some of us that have been doing this for a long time can kind of get away with making more than one change at a time, because we kind of we've experienced certain things and kind of know what we can change to make something more fit our driving styles. But if you're brand new, you should definitely make sure that you only change one thing at a time when you practice. On today's car, so Robert Hall just said ball stud washers make that big of a difference, question mark. With today's cars, absolutely they do. 1 millimeter of lowered roll center can change how your car can attack a corner just by changing that angle of the tie rod. You don't think it's a lot, but it on today's cars especially. I remember I was at the 99 Mod Nats, and that was when they debuted the XXX Losi buggy for the first time. And I remember going up to Todd Hodge and asking him, I'm like, how come you guys are running such soft springs on your cars? And because at the time, the XX, we were running blue springs. Blue springs are super hard springs. And the XXX had orange springs on it. And orange springs were like 5 rates lower or something like that than blue springs. And what he told me was the ball stud washers underneath the front camber link, because that was the first time that an RC car, had the upright camber links. They were always on the shock tower sideways. Well, this is the first time they were upright. You could put washers underneath. And he said that because of the amount of washers they had underneath the ball studs, it doesn't need to have the heaviest spring in order to keep the car from plunging down. So, and you can see that today. So if you take like a B6 and you run no washers underneath the front camber link ball studs, you can take your finger and you can push down on the car and it'll go lower, right? The more ball studs you add to that, it resists getting pushed down. And it's the same concept. And that's why ball studs make so much of a difference. Now, I'm not an engineer. I never claimed to be an engineer. I'm not a precise setup-oriented person, opposite of like Will Brenton and Derek Wood that race at our track. So I can't tell you exactly why that is, but I can tell you that, yes, it definitely does make a difference. So not necessarily more rigid, but it's roll center. So it just changes your roll center. You raise up the tie rod. I believe it. No, I'm going to get this wrong. You raise up the tie rods. It lowers the roll center. So if you lower it, then it raises the thing. I don't know. There's an RC Car Action magazine that I've kept for all these years that explains most of that, and I can never figure it out that much. But basically, if I need to take away steering on my stuff, I will usually, one of the things I'll try to do is I'll add a washer, like a 1 or 2 millimeter washer to the front inside ball stud. And that usually takes away a little bit of steering for me. If I need more traction, sometimes I often in the back will add a 1 millimeter washer to the inside ball stud without changing it out here. Just keep in mind that if your tie rods get too crazy, you kind of want to always keep them level. But I don't know. Yeah, Jerry Doherty basically has it in the chat. I believe that's right. Well, of course that's right. Jerry's smarter than I am, but yeah. See, I'm not good at explaining like setup stuff. why I'm terrible at it. Like, I know what works for me usually. I have a hard time explaining why. It's a fault. That's why I'm never gonna ever be a pro driver. Will could tell you all about it though. That's why I like Will. He's very detail oriented when it comes to setup and stuff. I do know that a lower roll center is generally what you want on like dirt and stuff, and um, a higher roll center tends to help out when you have a lot of traction because it helps free up the car. So um, that's why, like on our B6s and like on my Losi car right now, I have no washers underneath the rear hub carrier or the rear inside ball stud. So, um, uh, yeah, yeah, there you go. That old white guy just got chimed in. So that's kind of right. If you raise the ball studs, you lower the CG, um, you know, all that. Yeah, Jerry, dude, I have them here. I still go back and read them every once in a while because there was a lot of good info in that, but sometimes for my brain, it always got convoluted and technical because they'd show you those diagrams. Remember those like center of gravity triangular diagrams they'd have in the for the pictures? I can never quite wrap my brain around that, but I sort of thought I understood it, kind of. Dude, the VS 410 is the bee's knees, but good God, it's expensive. If I could afford it, I'd have one because it's all aluminum and there's super awesome axles, and I love the body. Um, a guy just actually here in Omaha just bought one, and I tried to get the body from him. He wouldn't let me. He wouldn't sell it to me. He ended up painting it. I was bummed out. Thought I was going to score a VS4 body. Here's my Mandalorian chest. Now I got to put on more armor. So A9. Yeah, yeah. The VS4 is it's up there. But I mean, Vanquish makes good stuff. I have a couple Vanquish things in my truck, but the only reason why I have them is because I get a discount working at Hobbytown. That's the only reason. Otherwise, I wouldn't even have the links. I'd have somebody else's links. I do want the body though. I found the body on eBay. It's $100, and I can't quite convince myself to spend the money on a body. $99 for a body is to me still kind of stupid, but I really really want it. Paxton asks, "What's a good servo that you use for two-wheel drive buggy?" That's the easy one. Um, I don't have one here, but it's the 160T by far. I use that in almost everything. Almost. My crawler's got a Savix in it, so yeah, I know. You know what else is really expensive is yeah, the ProTech 160T exactly. Um, the UDR body from Traxxas. That thing's expensive too. And those brute bodies, if we have a couple of those at the store, Dude. Those are expensive too. 100-something bucks. Every time I get a new body and I want an actual good paint job on it, regardless of how much the body actually costs, it's always, I'm like, well, there's $50 because you get a paint job. And it's funny because I have a whole bunch of bodies here. Like, just looking at them, I got a stack of them, and you're just like, well, there's like $400 right there. Derp-a-der. It's one thing about this hobby is we kind of spend money on dumb stuff that we could have spent on better things. Maybe. I don't know. Mine would have just been food. I just would have gotten fat. I am fat, but I would have just spent it all on fatter food. More food to make me fatter. Yeah. So there's more armor. C17. Yeah, I think I'm getting ready to sell my slash. I think I'm gonna sell the super slash. Probably make a pretty good drag car. I don't know. My son will get pissed off, but I'm thinking about it. He's probably gonna come down right now and tell me not to. That'd be pretty rad. I'd put it on Facebook. We're having this. What are you doing?
How many subscribers?
I don't know. Doesn't matter. We're having this intergalactic. This intergalactic model contest. And it's actually, we're going to have it at our store. I believe it's May 3rd. I think that's a Saturday. That'd be a good time to come in full dress. We should talk to them. I'll talk to her tomorrow if I see her. That'd be dialed. That'd be super fun. Okay, so there's the torso getting ready, and then I get to put the head on. Oh yeah, look at that. No, I could see that. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. When is that? Hang on, hold on. Where's my calendar at?
Cool.
Calendar. May. Yeah, I think our model contest is either May 2nd or May 3rd because May 2nd is Saturday and May 3rd is Sunday. So we'll see. I'm actually supposed to talk to the home office and make sure I get that all set up. So should be fun. I hope I win. I was gonna do a Sabine TIE Fighter, so I was gonna paint the TIE Fighter like hot pink and hot orange and stuff. Yeah, Juicefer just said Trax is still one of the best bashers. I totally agree. Traxxas and Arma pretty much have the bashing segment kind of nailed down, really. So, okay, now I got to do the waist. Yeah, I don't doubt it. Arma actually sent us our Creighton we have at the store with the instructions to try to break it. So we tried to break it, and we didn't. We didn't actually break it. We bent the shock shaft, but we didn't break it. Yeah, the Red Cat Kaiju is pretty cool. I did an unboxing on it, and I was pretty impressed with it. I've been a little timid to bring in Red Cat stuff, mainly because of past. You know, we haven't sold it yet, but it'll be interesting to see the feedback I get from the first person that buys it and it really goes out and put it through its paces. So yeah, bumpers are fine to break. They're a fun thing to break. That's why RPM makes bumpers. C18. C18. Hey, quit shaking the thing. C18. C. Where is C18 at? Am I looking at C? I am looking at C. Oh. Yeah, I mean the Traxxas Max is plastic chassis. I think if it's built right, you know the Slash 4x4 is a plastic chassis, and it's got that interlocking front and rear end. So I don't know. I bet you it's pretty tough. I hope it is. It still has metal arm mounts. That's really important. If they were plastic arm mounts, I'd be like, stay away. But PC6. Is that what that is? That is PC6. Yeah, the dust cover. If you watch the unboxing, the dust cover truly did catch me by surprise. A lot of times I open up them early just to see what I'm looking at and kind of rehearse almost, but I wasn't ready for the dust cover. I didn't think it was gonna. I had no idea that it was gonna be in there. There was no What's New Wednesday today or yesterday because we literally haven't gotten anything new, and I didn't want to fake anything. There wasn't really much to talk about, so I didn't do one. I know I'm as a YouTuber, I'm supposed to be consistent, but if there's nothing to talk about, there's nothing to talk about, you know? So, front. So this is where the legs will press in. There we go. So I just got a text from my sister. We were at this comedy show, and it was at the Funny Bone here in Omaha, and it was a Clash of Comics type thing. And before I left, she was like, "Who do you think is the funniest?" And I'm like, "Oh, definitely the guy in the wheelchair. There's a guy in the wheelchair there, and he's super funny. Not just because he was in a wheelchair, but he used it as he didn't really like use it as a crutch, but he was still super funny. So I just got a text back from my sister that said the wheelchair guy won. So that was nice. That was good.
Give it 1K.
Oh. Oh, geez. I just hit the wrong thing. Check this out. I think. 1,000 subscribers. It took, when did we start? October of 2018. October of 2018, we started making videos. So about a year and say 4 or 5 months. That's great. Thanks to all 8 of you. I hope you've subscribed. I'm excited now.
Only 99,000 to go until you get a cool plaque.
Yeah, I want a cool plaque. So now I need 100. Hey, what did I say? You're shaking the camera. I want 100,000 subscribers now, so I can get a cool plaque, I guess, or is what he said. So, you know what I noticed though is I'll look at that because it's the YouTube app. And the other day we were at 600 and not 600. We were at 985 subscribers, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we're so close. And then I looked back the next day, and it was at like 983. So we had like dropped subscribers, and I was so devastated because we were so close a couple of days ago. So that's exciting. I'm glad we were able to get that in here on the After Hours show. So I'm really grateful to Pivot Lending Group. So if you guys are going to refinance your home, or if you're looking for a new home, anything like that, I highly suggest getting a hold of them because they are our big time sponsor for the HobbyPlex Show podcast. And full disclosure, it's $60 a show. So for the editing and the space, it's my sister's company. She produces podcasts for people, and I told her I didn't want any deals or anything like that. I was just gonna the store was gonna pay for it, and now we have corporate sponsorship, so we're gonna be able to come to you weekly. So I'm super grateful for that, and it's only going to work if somebody out there actually says that they heard about it from the HobbyPlex show. So make sure that if you get a hold of somebody there to be your mortgage company or to refinance your house, that you mention us. And there is going to be a coupon code, I think, of some sort that they're going to get to me. So that'll be fun. It'll be like I'm a real live like vlogger, where in the middle of the show I'll just stop and be like, but first let me tell you about Pivot Mortgage Group. So I hope I don't suck at it, because I don't want to suck at it. I hope I do it right. But it's also Aiden Olson's dad. Aiden Olson works for us, and his dad is a high up in that company. So I believe, I'm pretty sure I'm right. So that's really awesome. And man, I'm just so excited that I get to do all this cool stuff with the HobbyPlex, and promoting our store, and promoting the HobbyPlex tracks, and promoting a lot of you guys that race. I like talking about race results and stuff. So it's going to be a good time. So.
Now you can start monetizing. Okay, good night.
Yeah, you got school tomorrow.
I know, it sucks.
Yeah, Jackson, I'm actually impressed by your maturity lately. So you never know. When we need more part-time help, we'll definitely drop your name. So there's that. Last year, not so much. The other thing about kids that work for us is I'm pretty protective about them. Most of our clientele is pretty awesome, but every once in a while you get a Karen or a Kyle that come in, And you know, I don't want anybody getting yelled at. Any of our kids or anything getting yelled at. That's what we're here for. We're the adults. We're supposed to get yelled at. And usually it's not for anything we did. It's just people doing what retail people do and demanding, they get their way even when they probably shouldn't. A12. 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 I have a Karen story, but unfortunately, I don't think I should tell it because what if she watches this? Then what do I do? She'll be back. I don't want the Karen to come back. I want her to go away. I love the fact that we call disgruntled customers now like Karens. I think that's so funny. My mom's best friend was named Karen, so it doesn't really apply to her though. She was a nice Karen. But I have met a couple Karens. So normally, I would take my X-Acto knife and I would cut away these little, I don't know if you guys can see that, the little edges of the model like you're supposed to, but I don't think I have them. I'm going to disappear off camera for a second. Yeah. Darn it. I'm really bad about not keeping my tools around me. Yeah, the Cross RC stuff's pretty good. It's super detailed. You can get a couple of those demons. I mean, they're kind of expensive cars too, kind of like the Vanquish. But the some of those Cross RC bodies will really get you up on the scale points. This is not your missing pit chair. This is my chair that I've had for a really long time. So it's not your chair. We are not responsible for people's chairs in the pits. But this one's actually mine. And the reason why it's mine is for big races, I bring this into the booth because it's one of those office chairs that sits up really high. And I can see over the windows and be comfy all weekend. So, but I usually bring it home to do my work and stuff because otherwise I don't have a chair here in my room. So, okay, so there's the waist. Yeah, so a lot of times the chairs get abused and lost, and unfortunately, some of the chairs at the HobbyPlex that can't be slipped underneath the pit tables, we chuck because we need to be able to at least move them in underneath the tables to be able to clean. And nothing's worse than having a chair just blocking your way when you're trying to clean. And because we have a dirt track, we have to clean a lot. We have to sweep and all the time. And some of those chairs just get in the way. And what they've been doing lately is they take all the chairs, all the office chairs, and they shove them down one aisle, and then they clean the rest of it. And then everybody goes and picks their chairs back out. So we're all kind of like Tim and those guys, not big fans of the office chairs. So I personally like my office chair and my table. I'm actually pretty impressed by the fact that my office chair that's been in my pit spot has not really gotten stolen that much. It's basically been the same pit chair for a really long time without even putting my name on it. So that's nice. You know, I don't have to go search for it. Okay. I need A3 and A4. A3 and A4. Oh. Yeah, Jackson, you're skinny though. What am I missing? I'm missing something here. Dude. I missed a step. At least it's not a glued model, because that would be bad. What do we got? We got 20 minutes left. I think I can get maybe a leg done by the time we're finished here. I missed a step. I need PC12, which is this one. See, I'm talking, I'm not paying attention, and I'm missing steps. So, hole facing upwards. Goes like that. And like that. Yeah, my wife's actually upstairs, and she's kind of mad at me because I wasn't coming to bed early. I was like, no, I got to go do my live stream, and she works for the next 2 days. So by the time I go back up there, she's going to be super asleep, and I won't even be able to talk to her. So it'd be like I haven't talked to her in like 3 days, that's not nice. If you're married, you should at least talk to your wife at least once a day. Today, I've talked to my wife maybe 3 words. It was like, hey, how are you? See ya. Bob, I'm the wrong person to ask. I honestly have no idea when it comes to the motors and stuff for the Tamiya race. I'm going to try to race GT2, and I know that that's a 21.5, and I think it's a Reedy 21.5. But other than that, I'm not really sure what the rules are. I believe the website at Tamiya USA is up to date for the TCS rules, but there's actually a forum on rctech.net that, believe it or not, still is like people follow, and it's in the racing forum, and it's TCS, and that's where basically everybody goes to talk about the TCS race. That would be the better place to put that question, because I don't really pay that much attention, because most of the time I'm not going to race in it, so I don't really pay attention. Yeah, I wish Tuesday nights would get going too, but it's kind of nice to have it be our crawler night, to be honest with you. We've been getting around 5 or 6 to 10 people to come out and crawl on Tuesdays, and then we're done with the comp by like 8:30, 8 o'clock, and then we hang out for a little bit, and then everybody goes home, and I get to come home a little bit early. I wouldn't mind having racing again on Tuesdays, but to be honest with you, I kind of don't miss it. Full disclosure, the track's open for practice, but this summer, I'm going to try to bike more. And one of the things that they have is Taco Tuesdays. at this lake called Walnut Creek. That happens to be a tick fest, but I'm going to go anyways, and then I'm going to eat tacos afterwards. And I'd like to actually participate in that this year. So I'm not saying I wouldn't mind having a bunch of stuff, but it's kind of nice. So I just started putting out a bunch of parts today. You might want to check tomorrow. I'm not going to be there until I think. Oh, what do we got? 15 minutes. So I'm not going to be there tomorrow until later in the day because I'm going to court to testify against the douche canoe that ran out the door with the Traxxas rally in October. So we had two of these things happen. One was in October and one was in late November, and it was the tall big dude that went to the casino later that night, and I get to go to court tomorrow and hopefully testify against him. So I won't be there until later in the day. But I did put out a bunch of Arma parts up on the wall. So I'm not sure how much of it was Mojave parts, but I think quite a bit of it was. So check tomorrow. Plus, there should be a big order tomorrow. So actually, all three of them. So the douche canoe in October was arrested first, and then the other two, the one of them was arrested and booked for it, and then the other one I think was already in jail for something else. So we got both of them. And here's the thing: in the past, whenever that's happened, and it really hasn't happened that often, mainly because of the way that we have our store oriented. It's with most of the parts being behind the counter and all the big expensive stuff being behind the counter, we really haven't had too many of those, to be honest with you, which is good. But in the past, when it has happened, we've been told, well, there's nothing they can do. There's not a whole lot they can do. They'll take the report and all that, but there's not a whole lot they can do because we don't have cameras. Well, guess what? Now we have cameras. We've got pretty good cameras, and it was nice to finally see us able to give some real evidence and put on Facebook. I'll tell you what. Say what you want. Social media can be not so good. Social media can be really good. These two guys were caught mainly because we put their faces and video on Facebook, and it really worked out well. So yeah, so tomorrow I get to go to the first one, and so I got a summons last week. So now I bet you I'm gonna get another summons for the other guy, and yeah, we're gonna make sure that we're at least following up and making sure that something happens. I mean, you hear all the stories about people being able to get away with stuff and all that, but I really don't believe that. I mean, I think at some point, if you do enough crime, you're going to do the time. So we'll see what happens. I hope we get restitution. Dude, look at Boba Fett's butt. He's got a tight butt. There you go. Look at that. Yeah, so the store was set up that way. The way it is now, it was set up in 2016, and that really came about. It was something that, as a whole, Tim and I, the other manager, we'd been thinking about it for a while, and we finally pulled the trigger when we did have a thing where this guy, actually a group of guys, came in, distracted one of our employees, and then grabbed something, ran out the door, and that was kind of the last straw. and I think it's worked out well. There was a little bit of pushback at first because people were used to being able to go in and go down all the aisles and get whatever they needed, and not be bothered, all that, not interact with us really if they didn't want to. But after that initial pushback, really from only a few customers too, and honestly, like a couple of them probably were some of the guys that were taking stuff like parts. Um, uh, it's kind of nice. It's almost like our customer base is kind of trained to kind of be prepared as well. It's not just, they come in and they wander, and in some ways that can be good because you can get some increased sales from just finding stuff that you didn't think you needed, kind of like going to the grocery store hungry. But at the same time, in order to keep bringing you guys good prices on stuff, we can't just let stuff just waltz out the door, right? So that's what it is. They do not have a Jabba the Hutt model, and I need a Jabba the Hutt Princess Leia bikini model in my life. That would be really good. So I'm hoping Bandai eventually does that. But if it hasn't happened by now, they probably won't. I'm also looking forward to. I'm kind of hoping with the new Clone Wars TV show, new episode tomorrow, that they re-release some of the Clone Wars models, because let me show you guys something real fast. I'll be right back. So this is one of my Revell models that is all busted up because somebody's wife doesn't understand the how delicate these things are, and takes them and throws them in a toy box full of junk, and then throws that toy box around, and then you end up with a busted Clone Wars starfighter that I can't remember the name of right now, and I really want another one of these without paying an arm and a leg for it. So I'm kind of hoping they start re-releasing some stuff now that Clone Wars is back out. I'm sad. Anyways. Oh, jeez. I just about broke it again. Arc 170. Yes. Andy, you're right. That's right. I knew it was Arc something, but I didn't want to get it wrong, so I didn't want to say it. Arc 170. You were so totally correct. My hair is weird. Where am I at? I'm on the legs, but I don't really feel like doing it. I think I got this far. You know what stinks is I think I'm going to have to go in here and take these off. These armor pieces. I'm going to, now that I'm looking at it, I'm going to have to take these off and paint them individually, and then put them back on so that it matches the Beskar color. So that'll be good. There's a lot of pieces though. I guarantee my cat will come in here and knock all these pieces to the ground though. So I think I'm just going to leave them in the box. The Last Starfighter is a great movie. I love that movie. My mom loved that movie. That's when I hope they don't try to do some stupid redo or whatever. remake. You know what's another good movie? Same era is Explorers with River Phoenix and oh gosh, that one kid who's always in those late '80s dramatic movies. Can't remember his name now. Anyways, that's a great movie. Good science fiction movie. Until the end. I kind of didn't like the way that they portrayed the green aliens in that one, but I mean, I get why they did it because it's kind of a kids' movie in a way, but still a really good movie. I'm gonna put this away for the night so I don't mess anything up. Anyways, it's late. Yeah, Jackson, you need to watch the Clone Wars, dude. There's lots of really good. If you're on Disney Plus, Disney has a 20 essential Clone Wars shows, but I don't agree with a lot of it. They're missing the entire arc of the. Oh man, my brain's fried. Of the brother and the sister and all that. So, but I think the 20 essentials are to lead into the new the new season 7. So. God, what was the name of that planet? Star Wars Rebels is awesome too. Honestly, I could sit here and talk Star Wars the whole time. This could be a Star Wars stream instead of a hobby stream. The only problem with it being a Star Wars stream would be that Star Wars fans are so divided right now that this chat would be nothing but like a bunch of pissed off Star Wars people yelling at each other, and I wouldn't want that. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be a like a Star Wars YouTuber right now because it would be really hard to you would have such a divided fan base. Like if you said you liked The Last Jedi, like half Star Wars would hate on you. And then if you say that you hated The Last Jedi, then the other half would hate on you. There'd just be no way around it. Like if I were to do a Star Wars thing, I would just stick solely to like the first 3 and just talk about that the whole time. Not even bother with the new stuff. Yeah. I'm really tired, so we've been on for an hour and a half. I think that's pretty good. Um, I didn't want to skip it, so I was trying really hard to get here on time, and I was a little late. But you know, if you've never seen any of them, Tony, then you're probably okay. Then that means that you are that means that you're a safe person to be around and not have to worry about anything and get into arguments over make believe worlds and thoughts and ideas. Hold on, wait a minute. Any rumors? Associated going to upgrade the SCX? I honestly, I doubt it. Uh, um, I think if anything, they might do something to the stadium truck, but I don't think that any of these companies right now have any reason to spend a whole lot of time on their trucks because with the exception of some few places like the Nats, they only had like 5 entries in mod short course. So I don't know. I don't never say never, and all that, but I don't think there's going to be anything anytime soon. So, anyways, I got to go to sleep. I got to get up tomorrow and get ready to go to court and see these guys face justice. See you later. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet. Keep us over 1,000 subscribers. So, see you tomorrow. See you Saturday. See you next week. I'll be back here Thursday at 9 p.m. Don't forget to get on and listen to our podcast. You can find it on any of those podcast outlets, the HobbyPlex Show. And again, big thanks to Pivot Lending for being our podcast sponsor.